Wenjun, the women's world current champion, played against Vidit Gujrathi. After a gap of 3 years, she has played her first competitive game. Let's see what happened. Wenjun was black. She played e5, knight out, and we have the Jokopia. Pawn d3, knight f6, castles d6. So we have the opening in a very quiet Joko piano, and we have an interesting middle game where Wenjun has the f-file. Vidit decided to take, doubling the pawn structure, but f-file is for Wenjun, and she has already prepared knight f4. Rook a2, giving extra support to f2. A nice rook lift by Vidit. Knight f4, king h2, rook f7, and knight e7 takes, bishop e3. Pawn c5. Interesting move, stopping d4 and stopping the exchange of bishops. Now Vidit decided to take, and after queen takes, king moves, queen went back. Knight e3 and knight g6. The other knight is heading to f4, and the queen will come to the square. So knight f4 already threatens things over here if the queen also joins. Rook b2. Vidit is taking control of the b file. So basically, it's a matter of, is this activity on the king side better than white's activity on the queen side? Rook comes to f8. Knight g1. So this was an important moment. Vidit decides he can give up the pawn. So of course, queen can't take it because rook is going to defend. But queen can go to g5. And now there is threats on the board. Rook f2 is a threat. Knight h4, knight f4 is coming. So queen g4. Absolutely required to exchange queens. But after takes, basically Vidit is losing the f pawn after h5. Knight went back and rook takes f2. Vidit goes in with this rook, but then rook f7. And now takes, and knight c4. So Vidit must have calculated this to be okay for himself, for white, because he's got a good knight and there's a bad bishop for black. And he has also got the b file for now. King e7. And knight comes back, knight f4. Here g3, a very important decision by Vidit. This was a mistake. Vidit probably thought that the knight cannot take because the knight would be trapped in the queen side for a long time. So does Wenjun get to take this pawn? And if she takes, which she did, will the knight be trapped? Because knight can't go to b2, knight has to go to c1, and even if it goes to b3, it can't go to a5. So after knight c1, Vidit just plays king g2. He is hinting at this king move to pick up the knight. And if it goes to b3, then it's still trapped. Rook b2 comes. But the problem for white is it takes a lot of time to pick up that knight, to make any real threat on the knight. So she plays bishop b8, preparing bishop c7 and knight b3, knight a5. So very fast for the knight to get out. So Vidit goes for rook attacking the knight, knight moves, and rook b1. Rook b7. Now Wenjun is winning. It's 2 pawns up. She plays king d7. Knight g5, rook b8. Very accurate play. Even if you take, you're still in a lost position because black would just get in. And c3 pawn is hanging. Knight takes, pawn a5, rook b4. Knight check, king c6, takes, and takes. So it's basically 3 pawns up. Okay, 2 pawns up, still 3 pawns up. King f3, d5. Here, rook g6, Vidit is down 3 pawns in a rook and knight endgame. There is a threat of discovered attack with the knight, a small threat. Let's see how Wenjun deals with it. She gives another check, king moves, and she does a very nice move and goes to f6, sealing the deal. Now it's going to be a knight endgame, and that is completely lost because there's too many pass pawns. Knight takes, and here after a5, Vidit resigned. So beautiful, dominating performance by Wenjun, and she's on 2 out of 2 at the Sharjah Masters. And this was the highest rated victory against any player, against the 2731 Vidit Gujrathi from India.